Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we're going to make a really fun version of my cucumber brownies. We're going to be making zucchini brownies. So feel free to swap the zucchini with any other kind of squash as mentioned in the cucumber brownie episode. So let's go ahead and get started. So first let's prepare the pan. I'm using my baking paper as well. Let's drop it in there. And spray it, make a little fold for the overhang so it doesn't fall in. And then one more spray and it's ready. Alright, so now let's go ahead and grate our zucchini. I have one cucumber, one zucchini. You can also mix it up the way I am, or you can feel free to just stick to any one of the two. What we'll do first is put some thin mesh cloth down so we can directly grate into it, and then we can squeeze out the excess liquid and everything will be ready to go. Alright, so we are done with the zucchini now. Let's set this aside, and then we're actually going to let this sit for a few minutes once we twist it together and put together our dry ingredients. Alright, so let's just gather the cloth, twist it once very lightly, and we're going to set it aside. And now in our food processor, we're going to put together all our dry ingredients. So first we're going to add 3/4 cup of any kind of dry sweetener. I'm using cane sugar today and brown sugar. You can use any of your preference. You can use date sugar, coconut sugar, any kind of sweetener, dry sweetener of your choice. Just a little bit of brown sugar to give it that little chewy texture. You can also just use either one of the kinds. You don't need to do a combination like I did. Next we're going to add 1.5 cups of oat flour. So this is just oats ground up. Super simple. Alright, next we're going to add 1/2 cup of cocoa powder. We're going to add 1 tablespoon extra, so it's 1/2 plus 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder. Right, next we're adding 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Alright, so 1 teaspoon of baking powder. One-fourth teaspoon of baking soda is next. Alright, so 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. Next up, we're going to add some salt. So just about 1/4 teaspoon of salt again. And this is really going to help bring out all the sweetness. All the sweet textures and flavors will just be more put together with that little bit of salt. Now optionally we can add a little bit of instant coffee to kind of make that chocolate flavor more rich. So what you could also do is, if you like, say, a mint chocolate flavor, you can add coffee that's instant infused with mint or hazelnut or vanilla, or you can just add plain instant coffee as well, or you can skip it entirely. Spoon of coffee. Alright, and now let's just give this a mix quickly to bring all the dry ingredients together. Then we'll directly add the wet in here, and that's basically going to be it. So let's simultaneously also preheat the oven. Okay, so let's preheat it to 180 degrees Celsius. Alright, perfect. Let's go ahead and give this a mix. Alright, so now that that's done, let's add all the wet ingredients in here straight. So you can see that it's all mixed up nicely, ready for the wet ingredients. Alright, first we'll add our zucchini and cucumber mixture. If you've combined the two, or if you're using either one, that's also perfectly fine. So we're going to tightly pack this into our measuring cup, and we need about 1 plus 1/4. So really pack it in there as you're filling this guy up. Alright, so that's 1 heaping cup. Plus 1/4. Alright, next we're adding half a cup of nut butter. Now you can add any nut butter of your choice. I'm adding my homemade cashew butter, but you can add peanut butter, almond butter, coconut butter also works. So technically also a nut. And the best part about these homemade butters is that they're super simple to make. All you really need is a little bit of any kind of vegetable oil and the nut of your preference, and you can just process it in your food processor, and that's simply it. That's basically it. So this is straight from the fridge. It's a little thick, but that's okay. Alright, so that's about half a cup. Let's go ahead and add that in. Alright, next up we're adding 1/4 cup of plant-based milk. Now you can add coconut, almond, soy, any of your preference. I'm adding plain almond here. You can also add chocolate almond milk or chocolate cashew milk to really enhance that chocolate flavor, but you can also just add the plain. Alright, finally we're going to add a little bit of vanilla, and this is really going to help bring all the flavors together. So good quality vanilla is key. That's really going to help bring out the flavors even more. Perfect. And now again, let's give it a mix, bring everything together, and we'll basically be ready to then bake.